Good evening, crewmates. Captain Andy here. Here to bring some more Final Fantasy XIV goodness to get through the story with my legacy character, Claylan, for her first time. After this last Sunday, what can I say? We finally did it. Finally finished the Roman War storyline that I started so many moons ago, over a decade ago. Finished that this past Sunday, shown on my last stream. It's kind of euphoric in a way, for me anyways, to get her past this point to actually continue on with the story. My initial point of wanting to go through the story with Claylan is to share with you to see if there's any changes in perspective, given that Claylan is a legacy character. We've seen some changes with the main part of our Remy Warren story, as well as the Coils of Bahamut story. You can check out the previous streams for that, or my YouTube videos. They're actually not videos. Well, the videos of the stream, really. I put everything I have on YouTube. Anyways, so yeah, I'm curious to see if there's gonna be more changes in the future. I'm pretty sure Stormblood is doubtful. Heavensward, maybe. I highly doubt it. Shadowbringers, maybe, and Endwalker. When it comes to Shadowbringers and Endwalker, mainly because, well, legacy characters started sometime before Realm Reborn started 5 years prior, so I'm curious to see if there is going to be anything. If there is, what would it be? But to get to that point, we have to get through the story. And I'm happy to say that we're going to start finally going through Chapter 3, third expansion, Heavensward. Now, I want to start off with the Final Fantasy XIV, Final Fantasy fanfare you're hearing right now. Without having the screen go to another demo, because I actually want to show since we're going to Heavensward, might as well do it the appropriate way, but much like many of us have done years past when Heavensward was finally being introduced. Ishgard, place I was interested in going into since 1.0 days. Walking around Korthus before there was snow, you can see Ishgard, beautiful castle. Just couldn't access it. The gates of Judgment were closed. I'm pretty sure there's videos online where people just go around those limitations, but there was really not much to Ishgard that we could see aside from Korthus and the storylines from there, like Dragoon's story. But that was then. This is now. Let's begin with the Heavensward demo and title. go. Final Fantasy XIV, Heavensward. Let's get this started. The snow is a welcoming sight for me right now. It's scorching where I am. It's hot. Hey, for those that are joining, thank you for joining. Hoping you're having a fantastic evening so far. Fantastic day. Hope it's a lot cooler than where I am. Ooh, it's hot here today. Hot this week. It's going to continue being hot. I'm not sure how long this stream is going to be tonight. I know the last two streams were a little bit longer than what I normally would. I was really excited to get the story finished. I think somebody can tell it's towards the end of the streams that I was getting tired. I should have stopped earlier, but I wanted to push through. All right. Let's continue onward. Actually, before I talk to Alpha Node, I wanted to show you something cool. Back when this was current, when you got up to this point, prior to being able to talk to Alpha Node and going to Ishgard, yeah, you were designated as someone who's going against the state. You killed a Sultana, etc., etc. So if you go to various areas, like say Mordona, where the Rising Stones are, some small changes happen. I would get some excuse like a lot of people were. Just what would happen if you go to these other areas that you're banned from because you're on you're a wanted person. The Crystal Braves betrayed her against you. If you go up here, there's actually a Crystal Brave person you can talk to. They're showing your face here, traitor. I hauled you in for your crimes, and I would expect you to doubtless put up a fight. And I've been ordered. Yes, that's right. Ordered not to bring conflict into town. Our priority is to protect the people, and we can't risk innocent bystanders getting hurt. If I were to find you anywhere else, though, you'll not find me so lenient. Consider yourself warned. That's right, warned. I think that's the only Crystal Brave that's vocal. There's one way over here. If you get close to him, he'll look at you, and he'll just continue looking at you. Not caring. Not caring. He's too busy lounging about. And if you try to go into the Rising Stones, you can see on the mini-map here, just no thing indicating you can go there. But if you try to go there anyways, there's a giant brass blade just standing right in the way. If you talk to him, easy now, friend. I'll not raise the alarm. I'm not fool enough to believe the rumors. That said, I cannot well let you pass. Orders are orders. Thanks, buddy. Right. I forget what he does. Into the flesh of darkness, so bringers of light, for the flame that flickers in Bahamut's tomb, and that glowing black stir, a raven's white, clawing blood from her barren womb. What was slain and silver proud did golden malice rise, metals of infamy and ruin, that every hero must despise. Do these verses ring a bell, perchance? I wrote this song to immortalize your journey into Dalamit's shadow. One of my most requested songs, especially in those halls and taverns frequented by adventurers. Oftentimes I can save my voice in the latter verses, for the whole place is on its feet by then, belting out the words by heart. I touch hyperbolic, why 'tis the broad strokes that make a popular ballad, else we would be singing of mending socks and sitting on cushions, would we not? We shall talk again soon. Tell me more tales of daring do, won't you? Sure. Oh, it's nothing more special for him. I already talked to these people before. They don't really say much. But I think this person does. It's you! When the Crystal Brave stormed in and closed off the Rising Stones with nary an explanation, I feared the worst. I'm relieved that you are safe, at least. because we've been through the 7th hell itself, and I'd love to offer you our hospitality. But it would be unwise for you to linger. There's no telling who may be watching. And I'm just going to do one more thing. If you go to Ul'dah, the place where you were essentially snuck out of, you're still able to go back inside. Eventually we'll get in there. There. So you can still walk around here. No one's going to arrest you or try and attack you or something rather. You can still go to the flames area. You talk to Swift. Small talk. Marshal Tarpin bade me relay this message to you. All knowledge of the incident is being withheld from the public, and things shall remain as they were in Ul'dah, at least on the surface. We doubtless burn to act, to seek justice served. So do we all. However, we must bide our time. For a single misstep could trigger a civil war, and Ul'dah would tear itself apart. Yeah, essentially, that if you go to what he said, it's kind of reference with the other grand companies where you know you're innocent, but there's not much you can do about it at this time. If you go talk to Mobity, Dabbern, and I forget the other Munes at the Carling Canopy. They all say that they're happy to hear that you're safe, that you've heard what happened. Not much they can do, but they hope that you're able to clear your name. And as before I was going to go back, I noticed this NPC I did not notice before. And if you talk to this guy... Oh, did you hear? Some adventurer, and a bleeding famous one at that, went on a rampage during the victory feast. Fair tore down the fragrant chamber, to said. Rumor has it she's an imperial spy sent to do for the Sultana. Yeah. I think there's something like this in each of the city-states as well. Just a cool little touch. But we're not here for that. We're here for, to get into Ishgard, and that's exactly what we're going to do. I just wanted to show that neat little aspect. Where am I? Back here? Nope. This way. Alright, let's talk with our friends, Tataru and Alpha Node. No matter how long it takes, I have faith we will find the others. With Lady Ugidi's shinobi, Urian's intelligence, and my versatility, there's nothing we cannot do.
The dawn's light will shine again. So long as we have these specious accusations hanging over us, we will struggle to achieve anything. You must go to Ishgard, as Tataru proposed. I will return to Ul'dah and set things right.
Pray, do not be so hasty, Master Alphino.
Lord Orchiffon.
Full well do I understand your desire to clear your names. But now is not the time for drastic action. You yet have allies upon whom you can rely. There is no need to act alone.
Yes. Yes, of course. Pray forgive my impatience.
I bring tidings. Count Edmont has decreed that the three of you be taken in as wards of House Fortin. Under our patronage, you shall be granted access to the city proper. Pray, consider our manor your new headquarters, from which you may gather information and plan how best to proceed. Needless to say, should any of your missing allies be found, as I am certain they shall, they will of course be welcome to join you there.
You are more than generous, my friend. On behalf of my fellows, I humbly accept your offer of hospitality.
Yeah, because apparently I can't talk and accept.
The Count is a good man and just. He will treat you with the kindness and respect that a hero and dear friend deserves.
To Ishgard, then. Together. There we shall carry on the Scion's legacy. There we shall begin anew.
Here!
Sounds like a time for a shot of whiskey. They say the winds can be rather fierce on the steps of faith. Be sure to wrap up before you go. Not all the circumstances under which I'd hoped to visit Ishgard for the first time, but so be it. Bundle up? I'm good. I'm more dressed than Alphinaud is. I must go ahead and speak with the Count. Fear not, however, for everything has been arranged. The sentries at the gates of judgment have been informed of our decision. You but need state your names, and they will allow you to pass. My manservant shall be waiting for you at the crystal. Manservant shall be waiting for you at the city gates, ready to escort you to our manor, where we shall meet again. Until then. Right. Yeah, this won't be a long stream. No, let's walk all the way to Ishgard. Why not? Why not? Let's make it memorable. If you think this is far, it's not the first time she went for a long walk. Now, I'm not sure what all I'm going to be able to do in Ishgard. I'm not going to be able to proceed much with the story. I'm going to work on the quests that are available within Ishgard, however, including unlocking the 3 jobs I did not have access to until now. That would be Dark Knight, Machinist, and Astrologist. And during the off-stream time, I'm going to do what I can to level them up without going through the story. I'll do the story for those probably starting next week at some point. Speaking of stories, as you can see here, along with the main storyline, anything can show I now have access to the new job quests. Unfortunately, as my characters are, except for the new 3, are all above level 60, fortunately I can get them all done. Unfortunately, I cannot get them all done right now because I don't have access to all the respective areas. Such as Paladin, I need to have access to a certain Porthos. I believe Warrior, I need access to Tailfeather or Tribune. You get the idea. So, I'm going to put off doing these the job quests until I have access to the first 3 new areas. That'd be in Western Porthos, Dravanian Forelands, and the Sea of Clouds. You'll see what I mean. Yeah, this spoilers got done just before it's just a playthrough with my legacy character. As well as to show the storyline for those who are not able to play Final Fantasy XIV. Just so they can enjoy the story as much as I can muster from the story. Some of it's going to be exciting and great. Some of it will be lackluster. Not all of the job storylines were the most thrilling. Some actually surprised me, such as the ninja and fisherman, the rogue ninja and fisherman storylines. Those took. I had to do 2 separate streams for those because they took longer than I thought they would have, for good reason. They were cool stories. And we are coming upon the gates of judgment. Zidane is following very quickly. Wards of Hosfolta? Ah, yes, you may pass. Proceed to Ishgard. Let's go. This is... Kalian's been wanting to get in here since 1.0. It's about bloody time she gets in. She's seen Ishgard when it was nice green fields, then icy fields.
And so they came, at a friend's behest. Heroes once celebrated as saviors of Eorzea, brought low through treachery, their names blackened with royal blood. With memories of the lost and dreams of redemption, with hope yet in their hearts, they came.
Hey, Alpha Node Wars proposed for the weather finally. I suppose you have to learn some point.
To Ishgard, shining city on the mount, overlooking the dominion of Kurthus. A great and proud nation, devoted to Helone, the Fury, ruled by Thordan VII, Archbishop of the Ishgardian Orthodox Church. The last bastion of the faith, her walls ever bristling with the sworn swords and spears of her 4 high houses. A land that after 1,000 years of war had forgotten what it was to be at peace. Through gates long closed, the warrior of light and her companions passed, entering at last a city whose history was written in blood. In the midst of the Dragonsong War they came, 3 weary travelers whose arrival would set in motion great change. Though none knew then how great.
In the memoirs of Count Edmond de Fontaine. Yeah, for those that can speak French, pronounce those words in French, the names in French, it makes a lot more sense and easier to pronounce. Here we are, Ishgard. Magnificent city. Well, this is the first 3 quests are, what's a clan hunt? Machinist. Clan hunt? Okay. God, I feel like a child in a giant's castle. You look like the child in a giant's castle. From afar, the spires did not seem so tall. Greetings, Mr. Seraph. On behalf of House Voltan, I bid you welcome to Ishgard. My lord humbly requests your presence at his residence in the Pillars. If you all would come with me. Okay. Well, since we're here, let's attune to the Aetheryte here. First time she tunes to Aetheryte in years, over a decade. Oh, that felt good. Let's start with the story a little bit more. Get some more quests appearing around the city proper and go from there. Bell? It's been a while since I've been here because Andy. Now, in 1.0, the only thing we knew about Ishgard is that it was the name of the city, and that there was an Aetheryte Plaza. What do you call this? Ishgard is Aetheryte Plaza, because that was in all the other city-states. That was about all we can remember. We knew that was here. Salmar. I think there's another one down here. I don't think there'll be many dungeons today. It'll just be a chilling, relaxing time getting acquainted with Heavensward. Doing quests, unlocking new jobs, finally. There it is. Rude. Are you throwing a snowball at me? Really? Rude. Rude. Shoot the tail though. Bien. Joli bien. I don't remember much of the storyline for this. This is gonna be, I don't know when I see it, but it's going back in time for me. It's cool. The Pillars, this is where, I understand the Pillars were the highborn, like the aristocrat noble lived, and the Foundation where you start is where the the not so noble folks live. And there's a class divide between the two as you go through the story. Dark spectacle. What's your sign? I think you have to add these 2 jobs to my wheel of jobs for dungeons and the like, and then like once I get to those appropriate levels to make use of them. But with only 3 jobs to get from level 30 to at least 50, 60, that should not take too long, I would hope. Yeah, I want to get all the F-right shards so I can freely teleport my way around this city. C'est Julien. Alright, one more place. I think it's the last vigil, if I remember right. There it is, right up there. One? Oh, no I didn't. You've attuned to all the Aetheryte shards in Ishgard. The gates of judgment are now accessible as an Aetheryte destination. As an Aetheryte. Alright, let's make your way here. Do a bit more of the story, then there should be more quests that opens up to us. To look upon the splendor of these heights, one would little suspect the ruin wrought by the wyverns below. Is it just me, or is the air up here different? You can almost smell the wealth and power. God, it's making me feel faint. The warrior light and her brave companion walk in the streets of Ishgard at last. What a glorious sight. I cannot tell you how long I waited for this day. Allow me to present you to my family home, Fulton Manor. Oh, I'd like nothing more than to show you around, but everyone is gathered to receive you. Come, my friends, introductions must be made.
My lord, I have returned with the Scions.
I hope your journey was not too taxing. I, Count Edmond de Fortom, do bid you welcome.
Edmond de Fortom.
As wards of House Fortom, you shall be afforded every courtesy. My home is your home.
My companions and I are deeply honored, Count Forton.
The honor is mine, Master Alphino. Consider it an expression of our gratitude for your service to Ishgard.
Forgive me, my lord, but are you not concerned? To accept foreign guests at such a juncture, especially ones with our reputation.
Do not worry yourself on my account. 'Tis true that Ishgard's first thought has ever been the war effort, hence the closing of our borders, yet it is in troubled times most of all that men should seek allies, don't you think? Granted, my decision will have raised eyebrows in the vault and in the halls of the other high houses. But so long as you continue with your altruistic endeavors, I doubt my honored peers will feel moved to voice their concerns.
Then there is naught to fear. Though our numbers are much reduced, we are no less determined to carry on our work.
Full glad am I to hear it. But before you return to your labors, why not take a tour of the city? You would do well, I think, to acquaint yourselves with your new surroundings. After all, you may be here for some time.
He makes a good point. So, Count Edmond de Fortin, Artoirel, Emmanuel, Artoirel. That sounds like it. Artoirel. Steward. Greetings, Mrs. Seraph. How may I be of assistance? What do you do here? Me? Why, I am but a humble steward sworn to House Fortin. I doubt you wish to hear the minutiae of my duties. Simply put, at the behest of my lord the Count, I manage household affairs. I have served at his pleasure for more than 50 years, and by the Fury's grace I shall serve for 50 more. Tell me about House Fortin. The origins of House Fortin can be traced back to King Thordan and his Knights 12. Ours was one of the 4 founding houses of Ishgard. Accordingly, our wishes extend far beyond the walls of the city proper. Camp Dragonhead, for instance, is our responsibility. As for the family, you have of course met my lord Count Edmond de Fortin, who is the head of our house. His 2 sons, Lords Artoirel and Emmeline, are next in line. May the Fury watch over and keep them from harm. As for those sworn to House Fortin, in addition to the knights, squires, and infantry, more than 100 craftsmen, retainers, and other servants possessed of notable skill are pledged to our service. Given our strong position, one might expect us to have interesting choice words. One might expect us to have no truck with foreign merchants and sellswords. However, nothing could be further from the truth. I should think that my lord, the Count, I was quite clear on this point, but it was our hope that you and your allies would, by your deeds, help us convince the other high houses of the wisdom in opening the gates of judgment to all, among other things. More than anything else, though, I suspect he saw a new potential. Tell me about Ishgard. More than 1,000 years ago, Helona appeared before King Thordan I and bade him lead his people to the Promised Land, to the land we now call home. And so the king and his knights 12 did as we commanded. They came to Gorthus to found a great kingdom in the Fury's name. But the great worm Nidhogg would not have it so. With hatred in his heart, Nidhogg sought out King Thordan. In the ensuing battle, the king and half his knights were slain, but his son, Haldrath, rallied the others and drove back the fell beast. Thus did the war between our peoples begin, the war between dragon and man. For 1,000 years, Ishgard has stood against the Horde, and not once were our defenses breached, until the day Lady Iceheart's allies shattered our wards on the steps of faith. Though the wyverns were slain before they could reach our defenses here, those in Foundation were not so fortunate. Unarmed men, women, and even children remained to feel the Dravanian's wrath. Walls can be rebuilt, but lives lost cannot be reclaimed. My lord, the Count knows this all too well. I did that already. Bye-bye. Emanuele. They'll be whispering about you soon, if they haven't already. The mysterious guest of House Fulton or some such. Greetings, Zion, and welcome. We are honored by your presence. As I said before, my home is your home. After all you've done on our behalf, it is the least I can offer. It is an honor to have you with us, Mistress Seraph. Hey, you play cards? 1,000 pardons, milady, but I would be remiss in my duties were I to play with you at this time. Rude. Offer a game of cards, you say no. So what do you think? Be honest. It's great, isn't it? So this is what the inside of the manor of a high house looks like. Do you think that Lord Hushfang was raised here? This is a pretty nice place, I'll give it that. So, a shield with a unicorn. Alright, talk to everyone. Let's go off node. Taking in the sights. Though our friends in House Fulton have been generous enough to extend us their protection, we must take care not to impose too much on their hospitality. It is only proper that we learn about our new home so that we might become more self-sufficient. It'll take a while to learn the lay of the land, but learn it we must. Then there's the markets and taverns. We'll need to know where to stop and where to hear small talk. To assume a tour of the city is indeed in order. I thank you for your counsel, my lord. My companions and I shall, of course, do as you suggest. Very good. Then my manservant shall accompany you. He will be able to answer any questions you might have. But I grow forgetful. Wow. Must be language I don't know. But I grow forgetful in my dotage. There is something I must give you ere we depart. The documentation is in order, I trust? Yes, my lord. Man, he's taller than me. These documents identify you as wards of House Fulton. Given that our borders have remained closed for decades, many of my countrymen are unaccustomed to treating with foreigners. Should anyone happen to question your presence here, it may prove necessary to remind them that you remain under the protection of House Fulton. But let us hope it shall not come to that. Rest assured that we'll do our utmost to avoid any situation which might compel us to invoke your name. Clayland, Tataru, the city awaits. Let's go! I confess, it has long been a dream of mine to visit Ishgard. To my childless self, her towers, bridges, and cobbled streets seemed akin to something from a fairy tale, and I never have quite outgrown the fantasy. I'm glad I have a map. As this is your first time in our fair city, pray permit me to show you to the Hopland. from whence we may gaze upon the splendor of the Holy Vault. Though all other sights pale in comparison, 'tis only meet that you see it first. I shall then show you around the jeweled crozier. Crozier? Yeah, that sounds better. Jeweled crozier, where you may purchase all manners of goods and services before descending to Foundation Etherite Plaza. If there are no further questions. Alright, let's go to the vault. That is a large structure. Holy Vault, where Archbishop Thornton VII rules from on high. They're awfully fond of statues, aren't they? Hey, what if I took up sculpting? I bet you can make a fortune in a place like this, and we need every gil we can get. The Hoplon, so named for the bronze great shield borne by our nation's from a nation's patron deity, is the largest plaza in Ishgard. Hoplon. The magnificent cathedral to the north is, of course, the Holy Vault. The vault is both Ishgard's seat of government and residence of the Archbishop of the Ishgardian Orthodox Church. Begging your pardon, the statues to the south, are they perchance Thornton's famed Knights 12? Very good, Master Alphanode. They are indeed the fathers of Ishgard. The brave knights who joined King Thornton I to put down Nidhogg and found this great nation. Ours is a city rich in history and tradition. There is much you can learn by exploring the pillars, time permitting, of course. Now then, if you will follow me to the Jewel Crozier, I shall introduce you to Mistress Elite. Mistress Elise. Mistress Elise. Our master of the markets. Elias. Elise? Elise? Elise sounds great. Better. Madame Elise. Mistress Elise. Elise. Not a single quartz stone in sight. To watch these merchants going about their business, one would think the dragons had never attacked. If you want to buy something, let me do the talking. I could haggle for Ulda. I present to you Mistress Elise. Mayhap you would like to say a few words. Well, you're clearly not locals or traveling peddlers, which makes you all papers. Ah, wards of House Voltan. How very interesting. Count Edmund granted us leave to remain in Ishgard for as long as we wish, which may be some time. Accordingly, we will have need for sundry goods, hence our desire to make your acquaintance. That is, of course, assuming you're content to accept the customs of foreigners. Should you be uncomfortable, young sir, we do not discriminate in matters of money. If you have coin to spend, who are we to refuse it? Weapons, armor, recruitments, medicine, materials, whatever you desire, it can be found in the Croisier. Our merchants will be more than happy to accommodate you, as you shall soon see. Our next destination is the Etherite Plaza and Foundation, if everyone is ready. Do you ever get a funny, tingling feeling when you attune to an Etherite? Or it's just me? No? So it is just me. Well, I've already attuned myself to the Etherite. I trust you have as well. And here we are at Foundation's Etherite Plaza. If you have not yet attuned to the Etherite, it would be wise to do so now. Alright, I don't need tanking gear. I already got this. Or something better. Let's get this. As for our next destination, mayhap we should decide ourselves. What else can be found nearby? The Sky Steel Manufactory stands to the west. There, our engineers conceive and manufacture weapons for use against the dragons. The Holy Stables, where Chocoboos are trained for war, also lie in that direction. To the north and east can be found the congregation of our Knights Most Heavenly, while to the south and east, well, it would be best if you avoided that area. And why is that? I fear our knights may not be able to ensure your safety in the lowest levels, Master Alphanode. Hold your nose when you pass the broom, you little lord. A delicate flower like you is like to wilt in our fumes. You misjudge me, sir, for I am no lord, but a humble traveler. Oh, come to see the sights, have ye? Take a turn down the Hoplo and gawp at the statues? Well, if you have a mind to learn how to live the better half live, come and have a drink at the Forgotten Night, if your nurse may let ya. My humblest apologies, Master Alphanode. Pray pay that drunken lout no mind. Oh, but I must. It would not do to refuse such a heartfelt invitation. Yes, I simply must see this Forgotten Night for myself. I trust you see the wisdom in this, Clayland. There are few sources of information more abundant than a bustling local hostelry. Not that I expect to hear every news of our missing comrades just yet. Nevertheless, who can say what we might learn of recent events? And I'm coming too. Bye. I guess we're gonna have a drink. Alright, so when Dawn Trail comes out, I think we split my time between Clayland and Andy. Because I do want to play the Dawn Trail storyline. Claylands might take a backseat for a little bit of time. But I'll do my best to try and cover both at both respective stories. Oh, hello. I'll talk to you later. I'll get this worked on first. Once more, I must urge you to reconsider. There are several gentlemen who appear less than pleased by our presence. Yes, I've got a good feeling about this place. Oop. Mayhap one drink would be... No, I mustn't. Must say, this is rather unusual. Not just one, but a whole party of fresh new faces in my tavern. We but recently arrived in Ishgard and are eager to acquaint ourselves with her more notable establishments. Master... God. Master Gibrion. Just Gibrion will do. And I'm flattered you think so highly of my establishment. Can't promise to live up to your expectations, but if it's decent food and drink you're after, you can do much worse. Judging by the number of customers I see, I suspect your fare is rather more than decent. Speaking of your clientele, I cannot help but note a difference between those who frequent the upper and lower floors. Spotted that, did you? Aye. Up here you'll find peddlers, potters, off-duty knights, and so forth, dropping in on their way to and from somewhere else. Regulars maybe, but not locals. Folks from the Broom, they tend to congregate downstairs, where we offer a menu more suited to their taste. Cheaper meals, stronger spirits, all quality, mind you, but not the sort of stuff I'd recommend to yourselves. You speak of the lower levels, yes? Why do they call them the Broom, if I may ask? Because when the weather's foul and the broom rolls in thick, it's the poor sods living in the bottom who have to deal with it. I see. And it's not just the weather. When the wyverns broke through the wards and started tearing up the city, it was the Broom that got the worst of it. While the pillars enjoyed the protection of the high houses and temple knights, more than a few people are still sore about that, mind, which is why, considering your present company, I'd recommend you keep your wits about you if you mean to go below, and something sharp in your boot just to be sure. I shall take your hearts to word, sir. Master Alphanode, I think it would be best if we return to Volta Manor. You go on ahead without me. I'm staying for a drink or two. Mr. Taru, I'm afraid that is out of the question. My lord the Count would never forgive me if I abandoned one of his charges in such a place, least of all a maiden. What are you up to, Tataru? Look around, Alphanode. This tavern is full of people whose business regularly takes them beyond the gates of judgment. With friends like that, I could practically live here and wait for the newest gossip to come to me. Indeed, but will you be safe here on your own? Oh, please. Do you know how often I looked after the waking sands and the rising stones by myself? If I had a gill for every unwelcome caller I've driven away, I'd be rich beyond my wildest dreams. I'll be fine. Not that I doubt the lady's knack for fending off unwanted advances, but I'll be damned if I'm gonna let anyone lay an unwelcome hand on a patron in my establishment. That settles it then. Tataru, Claylan and I shall return to the manor for now. Contact me by link Pearl if you require assistance. I will. Bye. Don't you worry, Claylan. If there's any news of our friends, I'll find it. Small talk. Always a pleasure to greet a new customer. Something I can do for you, friend. What do you do here? Yep. Being that this is my tavern, I suppose I can do whatever I please. Yeah, I guess that's true. For the most part, I dispense drinks and advice as the situation warrants. Wasn't always so. I did my duty, took my wounds, and hung up my shield as did the owner before me. You might call it tradition. They say that the sir who built this tavern was happy to be forgotten. Rather serve ale instead of steel. Had a way with words he did, and with women. But that's a story for another time. What kind of place is this? Of all the taverns and all of Ishgard, she walks into mine. The Forgotten Knight is just another place for travelers and locals alike to partake of food and drink. Upstairs, you'll like to find more well-to-do regulars mingling with travelers. Downstairs, well, that's where you'll find the locals. Right or wrong, people have a habit of sticking with their own, and Ishgardians are no different. They've got different tastes, to say the least, but we try to cater to them all as best we can. Bye. I know what you want. You're not from around here, are you? Well then, well, me neither. Good to have a few more familiar faces about the place. Ooh, artifact gear? Oh, I don't have any Century seals? Rip. Bye. Let's go up the stairs. Alright, so tonight's just going to be a long stream. It's just to get an introduction to Ishgard. Maybe unlock the new jobs. Yes, just going to be a quick introduction. Welcome back, Mr. Seraph. Shall I show you inside the manor? Yes. How do you find our city? Beautiful, is it not? Is that? Aye, it is the smell of mead. Newly come and already sampling the delights of our taverns. Oh yes, I like you. I like you a lot. Oh no, what? Pray do not concern yourself with me, madame. We've already spoke. Oshfan's not here. You have anything new to say? Nope. Alright. Edmond de Folta. Edmond. Tell us, Master Alphanode, does Ishgard meet with your expectations? That which I imagine pales in comparison to the reality. I feel the weight of 1,000 years of history with every step I took. And when those steps took me past the scars left by the Wyverns and Foundation, I understood how easily that history could end in tragedy. The attack was devastating. The casualties unspeakable. The Wyverns did not discriminate. Unarmed men and women, even children, were given no quarter. Sir Emmerich has ordered his knights to strengthen our defenses, and each house has been called upon to lend what support it can. There is much to be done, yet alas, able-bodied men and women are in short supply. Mayhap we can be of assistance, my lord? After all you've done for us, we could welcome any opportunity to repay your kindness. That is a most generous offer, Master Alphanode. You are a guest in my home, to whom I have extended my hospitality without obligation. Let Erlian. Nevertheless, Isgard's need is great, and if you're willing to aid our cause, I cannot well refuse. Good. What would you ask of us? From what I have heard, you are an intelligent and persuasive young man. Such qualities may prove useful to us in our efforts to secure provisions from foreign sources, identifying trustworthy suppliers, brokering contracts, and so on. As for you, Mr. Seraph, I could ask no one better than a storied veteran such as yourself, a woman with the capacity to act swiftly and decisively when needed, to aid, I can't pronounce his name, Artoirel and Emalien in their duties. I beg your pardon? I am more than capable of carrying out my duty by myself. I do not need our honored guest assistant. Now, be reasonable, brother. What manner of fool would say no when a famous hero offered to do his work? Hold your tongues. By the Fury, the two of you will conduct yourselves with dignity befitting your station, and show Mistress Seraph the respect she deserves. Lest you forget, you speak of a woman who had bested 2 imperial legatesses and some half-dozen primals besides. She's not here to steal your glory or serve as your errand girl. If you can pardon them their impropriety, Mr. Seraph, I would be much obliged if you would lend my sons a helping hand. And a swift kick in the ass. My thanks. If you're willing, they may even learn something from you. Yeah. How to take my foot and put it up their guardian ass. Okay, let's see what happens to hear about me now. I look forward to working with you. Working with you, Claylan. It's going to be grand. Honorwa, please look after Lord Amelien, Mistress Seraph. And Artoirel is not around. 'Twould seem we shall not want for employment over the coming days, though that was never in doubt. Our host's initial reluctance to accept our offer of aid was solely for appearance's sake. In truth, he's glad of this opportunity to put us to work. By granting us patronage, House Voltan has taken a tremendous risk. Until we demonstrate our worth to Isgard at large, the Count will face considerable opposition from his peers in matters great and small. And so he would have us publicly serve Ishgard, while simultaneously keeping his sons in check. 'Tis an arrangement we may benefit from in unexpected ways. My own duties may feasibly bring me into contact with people who know something of our missing comrades. And as you go about helping our 2 lords with their various responsibilities, you will inevitably make new acquaintances in Ishgard, mayhap even new allies. Yes, the more I think on it, the more confident I am that by furthering their goals, we shall further our own. Yeah, just get some money again. Oh, there he is. Astorel is in the back. Let's start with this guy, Astorel. Let us begin anew, Mr. Seraph. I am Sir Artois de Fortin, eldest son of Count Edmond de Fortin. You will forgive me my outburst, I hope. I meant no disrespect. I merely consider myself equal to the duties entrusted to me, unlike some. Hochevin has spoken of you often. If you're even half the woman he claims, I shall be glad to have you at my side. To the matter at hand, then. We will be assisting my esteemed compatriots of houses Durandard et Zamael. You are aware of our friendly rivalry, I take it? Aye. Well, suffice it to say, the prospect of assisting said houses does not fill me with joy. However, it is the will of the Holy See that we set aside our differences at this crucial juncture, but we shall speak more of that anon. First, we must needs secure transport to Falcon's Nest. Let us make for the tugboat stables and foundation. Alright, we're here as well. Get them both started. Shall we be off then, old girl? Ah, but where are my manners? Emilien de Fortin, second son of Count Edmond de Fortin. True-born, that is. Yes, yes, I know what you're thinking, and you're absolutely right. What ill fortune to be born second in a society where the eldest inherits all. Oh, my brother would never cut me off, 'tis true, but who could be satisfied subsisting on a meager allowance, forever overshadowed by a sibling? Not I, old girl, not I. Which is why I need your help to ensure that this business in the sea clouds go swimmingly, so that the tales of my great deeds can win me a place in the people's hearts, or better yet, raise me higher in their estimation than Artois. Ambitious, I grant you, but then I do have a legendary hero to do my bidding. Oh, don't look at me like that. I jest. Anyway, we are to aid the good men and women of House Alinard. They have been steadfast friends to our house, though they've fallen on hard times since the calamity, poor blighters. As for what precisely we will be doing, well, what fun would it be if I told you everything in advance? Just come along with me to the airship landing. We'll take the airship to Count Cloudtop. Alright. Here we go. Quests appearing everywhere. Alright. Before I continue with the story, I'm going to get these jobs unlocked. And that'll be it for the evening for me. As I said, this is going to be a brief introduction to Heavensward. And I do look forward to continuing, but I unlocked Ishgard, I'm unlocking the jobs, new jobs. We'll continue from that momentarily. Start over here. This guardian citizen. After witnessing a spectacle like that, everyday life seems rather dull in comparison. Huh? So you didn't see that trial earlier? Ah, your loss. Fury take me. The way that heretic swung that slab of iron he called a sword was a sight to behold. You couldn't have carried a shield if you wanted to. The blade was so big. Had to keep two hands on it at all times. I was amazed he managed to keep up with that temple knight for as long as he did. Fought like a demon from the deepest pits of the seventh hell, bellowing threats and working his arts. I wasn't sure what to make of it at first, but then I heard someone say that he must be a Dark Knight. But you didn't hear that from me, eh? In fact, I'm sure I don't know anything about it. Yes? Tell me. Ye gods, are you mad? We're standing outside the bloody tribunal. Fine, fine, but keep quiet and listen well, because I'm only gonna say this once. Okay, continue. So as I was saying, that heretic was fine like a man possessed. Even after he took several wounds, he showed no sign of pain, though there was no mistaking the blood. As the fight wore on, it began to soak through his armor, spreading to every element of his body. But when it began to rise and envelop him as a mist, I realized it wasn't blood, but something dark and twisted. But the righteous are not so easily cooed. Alone be praised. I screamed myself hoarse that when that temple knight slipped past his guard and ran him through. Good riddance, I say. Man was not meant to wield such arts. Yet I wonder, was he truly one of those... Well, it matters not. I heard the temple knights talking of dumping his corpse in the broom. By sunrise, it will be stripped bare and tossed over the walls. It will be as though he never was, and as though we never had this conversation. Bye. In the broom, he said. Rude. Rip. That's more than far enough for charity. They'll take care of the rest. And mayhaps sooner than rather than later. Come on. Uh-oh. Headache? Is this it? Is this all that awaits? No. No more. Enough. Open your eyes. Look. Do you see? Now, do you see now? Do you see? Claylan. Claylan! Hi. I've been waiting for you to open your eyes. You alright? You're moaning in your sleep and sweating buckets besides. Name's Frey, by the way. But no, I'm not a heretic. Try convincing a temple knight drunk on authority on that, eh? Shame the pompous arts got the better of me. But how about you? You touched it, yes? That couldn't have felt good. The voice, and a rather distressed one besides. Pray, someone, anyone. Not so fast. We need to talk about what's happening to you, what's growing within you before you get carried away. There's a darkness within us all. Nothing dangerous, mind. In fact, it's quite healthy. But the crystal changes you, gives you the power to channel it. Do it without proper training, however, and well, it might hurt. So go ahead, ask me to teach you. Ask me to instruct you in the ways of the Dark Knights, and I will. I know you're still worried about that screaming woman, so I'll keep this brief. We Dark Knights don't care one whit for prestige or pedigree. We are free to follow our hearts, to defend the weak and punish the guilty as we see fit. The law of the land, the authority of a name, these are tools cowards use to escape harm. We have no shields, figurative or literal. Here, my blade is your blade, my soul crystal, your crystal. Go on, take them. You'll need them soon enough. There we go. Dark Knight unlocked. Huzzah. Like I said, the quest itself, I will... Well, I'm gonna level them up to level 50, then go back to do the respective job quests. So I can do a stream for those. And same thing when I get to level 50 to 60, which means it's probably going to be in about a good while getting through all 13 jobs for their respective story quests. It's going to take forever. Now, if I remember, the Sky Steel manufacturers had machinists right here. So that's what we're going to do. FFXIV. My prospectometer is... Wow. My prospectometer seems rather fond of you. Let's see, shall we? Odd garb, striking presence. Would I be right in assuming that you're one of those adventurous types? Ah, I thought as much. My prospectometer seldom lies. And let me just say, you have made the right choice in visiting our humble workshop. Welcome to the Sky Steel Manufactory, where miracles are born from ether, metal, and imagination. From cannons to ballistas, we develop and manufacture a range of weapons designed for slaying dragon invaders. But we're also accepting students who wish to take up a firearm and learn the techniques of the machinist. What say you? Are you interested in joining us and exploring the machinist discipline? Of course. You are? Well, of course you are. Otherwise, my prospectometer would not have registered your obvious interest. In my excitement, I neglected to introduce myself. My name's FFXIV. This is FFXIV de Helena. And you are... Leyland, is it? Well, Leyland, allow me to walk you once more to the Sky Steel Manufactory. As I mentioned before, it's our charge to develop and manufacture weapons designed for slaying dragon invaders. But pray forget about those tired old inventions. The future lies in machinistry, a technology that weds the genius of Master Garland's Magitech with traditional etherology. Every single one of my latest creations employs the principles of this unique discipline. And in the steady hands of a trained machinist, my new inventions are going to alter the very face of warfare. Though I would dearly love to expand upon my revolutionary theories, we should begin by familiarizing you with the tools of the trade, so to speak. Have you time now for a brief lesson? Alright. Splendid! Now, the first thing you must learn is the proper technique for handling a fire. Where in the seven hells is our master of marksmanship? I swear the man is never about when I need him most. How dreadfully embarrassing. Here I've mercilessly piqued your interest. Now I must ask you to call again at a later convenience. Mayhap the next time you visit, our instructor will deign to put in an appearance. Then it can outfit you with the equipment necessary to learn basic marksmanship. And I might explain to you the particulars of the machinist's profession. I'm afraid he's gone for good this time, your lordship. Not the letter of resignation on your workbench and all. Confound the man. We cannot afford to lose such a pivotal employee at this crucial juncture in our growth. Joie, prepare mine equipment. That's what drag that scoundrel back by the lapels if need be. But, your lordship, we ain't even sure where to start looking. make a salient point, my dear. My perspective meter points to the land of Lenosha. Ah, yes, I should realize that he'd return to his homeland. Lenosha, my lordship. Are you sure you want to go there? I hear it's a nasty place where folk will clout you across the face as soon as look at you. Well, I must admit, little familiarities with its environment. Hark, Ron. The prospective meter chirps again. Hi. Of course, our aspiring machinist. We should have the worthy Clayton here act as our guide. As for an explorer who has braved the hardship corners of Eorzea, the wilds of Lenosha must be akin to a garden path. Is that not so? I wouldn't go that far. Now, no false modesty. Whatever knowledge we have of the place much far exceed ours. No matter your protestations. You'll consent to guide us, will you not? I guess I am. Then 'tis settled. So I hear, in addition to her loyal service to House Alinad, is the finest shot in the manufactory. As a novice machinist, I suggest you mark your technique well during a little jaunt to Lenosha. Speaking of which, you must needs decide upon a somewhat less vague destination. As I seem to recall, our absent instructor mentioned companions from a camp outlook. Let that be your first port of call. Alright. What a stench. I think I'm gonna be sick. So this is Camp Overlook. Indeed, its inhabitants do seem the type to cloud a man in the face in place of how'd you do? Shall we make some inquiries about our prematurely retired instructor? Let us rendezvous at this spot once we've gathered what intelligence we may. This is longer than the other one. The other one just talked. A bloke late at Ishgard. Aye, there was a stranger come about asking for one of our lads. Told I'm sorry, sod. So sorry he's looking for was in a cabin by the lift, resting up from an axe wound. You mean that Ray Rogan bastard? You'll find him pacing on boards in front of the infirmary. Some of the lads seem to know the bloke, but no burger seems eager to say how. Aye, I seen him alright. Got himself a cold reception too. You can't come apologizing for a deed a decade old and expect to just be forgiven. How fared your interrogations? It would seem our man came here but to visit an old acquaintance. In the vicinity of the winch, you say? Let us investigate this infirmary then. Yeah, I'm getting tired. I'll get astrology unlocked and then I might call it for the evening. Were the conditions of your employment not satisfactory? Return with us to the manufactory and we can discuss more favorable terms. I understand that his guardians presently accord machinists rather less than the respect they deserve, but I promise you, our worth shall shine through in due time. People will clamor to learn our profession. You cannot abandon us now. Roshenthal, think of the future. Leave me be. One more step and I'll blow your yapping jaw off. Joie, if you please. What? You shite-eating bastard. Next time I aim for the shaft twixt your thighs. Are you not proud? It was you who taught Joie everything she knows about shooting. And spitting colorful profanities. And spitting colorful profanity besides. Aye, the last learned me lessons well. Well enough to be your new master of marksmanship, I'd wager. Do you think so? Oh, but no, Joie's far too busy with her duties at the manor house. And besides, we have this budding machinist who is simply dying to learn from the great Rossenthal. Sure. I guess. Buffalo shite. Any scrag know me rather I did the dying. Oh, just look at you, the epitome of a roguish swashbuckler. Why ever did you cease brandishing your weapon in that fashion? Because only pirates can hold firearms like this, and now you're gonna teach the machinist way to no hopeless sausage-fingering adventurer when you dragged off the street. Then, are you saying that if our sausage-fingered adventurer shows a glimmer of hope, you'll consent to instruct her? Did you hear that, Clayton? This is your chance to display your aptitude for marksmanship. Here, I took the liberty of packing some extra tools of the trade. Convince your elected instructor here that you're serious in your intentions. Not around these parts, are you? Fine, Stephanie Vien. I'll give your whoop one bloody chance. One lesson to see what she's made of. The fate of the Sky Steel Manufactory, nay, the very future of machinistry is in your sausage-fingered hands. Take up your weapon and aim for the stars! No pressure, no pressure. Yay, there we go. Machinist unlocked. Mean machine. One more. Astrologian. Then I'm calling it for the evening. Greetings and welcome to the Athenaeum Astrologicum. Perhaps you were drawn by fate to this place of learning, or perhaps you wish to know more of fate itself. Yes, of course. Then you were wise to come hither, for in the stars are written the fates of every woman and man on Heidelin. It was there in the stars that I read a woman who would call upon the... Wait, that says Athena. Call upon the Athenaeum this very day. A woman who would play an important role in my own life. My apologies. Even the most skilled readers cannot scry a name from the heavens. Would you be so kind as to give me yours, so I might know who it is to be my newest protege? Sure. Claylan. Well, I was not expecting that. But what is a name but an attempt of our begetters to wield power over the lives of their sons and daughters? Lives whose past have already been foretold in a sense. In a sense, that is. My name is... Jean Quinard. My name is Jean Quinard de Girondin, and I am an astrologer for the Holy See. Remember that name, for it shall echo forever in the annals of Asgardian history. Well, it will once I put it there. Once we put it there. Now, where to begin? I suppose I can consult my divining deck for an answer, but that would be too easy now, wouldn't it? Very well. At the beginning it is. Astrology, or the reading of the stars, is a branch of ethereological science which originated in distant Chilean. There have been astrologians in Isgard for thousands of years, but it wasn't until 3 centuries ago when Adunad the Younger learned that the movements of the stars could also be used to foresee the movements of the Gervanian horde that the field became popular. Since then, what was once a single science had bifurcated into 2 similar yet ultimately different schools of learning. The Chilean School of Astrology and the Asgardian School, the former placing a focus on tapping celestial ether and transforming it into beneficial magics or astromancy. The latter specializing solely in determining the actions of our dragon enemies to the north. I am a student of the former, the only student of the former here in Discord, and have been actively seeking a partner with whom to conduct my research. Let's just say that my fellow astrologers have been less than approving of my path. And that is simply because they're afraid of what they do not know. Once they do know of how Chilean astrology can benefit the sea and its soldiers, they will feel foolish forever doubting me. Us. You will be joining me, will you not? Walking the path has been laid out before you, instead of stubbornly defying your fate, postponing the inevitable. I see you with no time to make your decision. Like I always say, the stars are never wrong. Alas, even a lifetime of study and training cannot unlock all the secrets within those stars. Myself, I have been a student of astromantic arts for more summers than I can count. Oh, and I still often read the signs shown to me in the skies. Though my readings are far more accurate now than they were when I attended the Athenaeum in Chilean. Not the Chilean, mind you. The colony that once thrived in the Gervanian hinterlands. I can recall my time there like it was yesterday. The first 6 moons, I was not even allowed to touch the deck of 60, let alone conduct a reading with the major arcana. Most of my time was spent in the scriptorium transcribing old tomes and astrological fundamentals such as the 6 elemental houses. Given duplicity, class triplicity, house modality and polarity, dignity versus detriment, I abhorred the task, would tirelessly pester my instructors as to when might actually be granted the opportunity to weave a spell or perhaps a reading. It wasn't until the end of the 6th moon that I realized that all this transcribing has prepared me with the essentials I would need to do those very things. The positions of the celestial bodies within the 6 elemental houses and the relation to the major and minor arcana of the deck of 60, therein lie the secret of tapping the ethereal power locked in the heavens. And soon, you too will become privy to these secrets. But not this day. No, no, I would not have you transcribe just musty old tombs like I was once forced to do. No, the task I have for you is much more interesting. You see, I'm expecting the arrival of a very important guest. My old mentor from the studium has agreed to make the journey from the old world to Isgard and speak with the Holy See regarding the implementation of Chilean astrological techniques in city-state defense. Alas, the professor and his party are now full 7 days late in arriving, and have begun to worry for their safety. I'll be much obliged, therefore, if you would inquire of the other astrologers here at the Athenaeum if they have heard aught. Why would Lord Jean-Pinot think that I had information on the whereabouts of a handful of unbelievers from across the blood-brine sea? I am an astrologer, not a fortune teller. I cannot simply look at the stars and describe the location of the Viscount's guess. Unless it's desperate dragons, that is. I suppose if anyone knew aught, it would be the observatorium. We at the Athenaeum are but students dedicated to research. Those with any influence in our field are assigned to the astroscope. Let me guess. The good Lord Jean-Pinot saw you in a vision that the stars told him that you were to study Chilean technology with him. Am I close? You must be the 100th of his little pets to pester me this week alone. I harbor no ill will towards ignorant unbelievers unlucky enough to find themselves caught up in talk of stars and fortunes. But you may tell the story excuse of it for an astrologer for the umpteenth time that I have heard not concerning his imaginary friend from faraway Chilean. Just do not tell the Viscount I call him an story excuse of an astrologer, alright? You said the ones upstairs? Or outside? Jean-Pinot is still waiting for the words of his missing Chileans instead of actually making an effort to find him, is he? Of course he is. Is any wonder that nearly 15 years since his return from Chilean, his skill in astromancy has remained unchanged? Any wonder that he has never yet managed to convince a single peer of the value of the Chilean school? He is a privileged little sprat who spends most times gazing at the stars in young men's eyes and actually trying to read the ones above his head. Alright. You tell the poor man I returned from the observatorium. Then one night at the Camino Feasting Hall happened to overhear Chief Astrologer Folma speaking with one of his aides regarding Chilean. He was visibly upset and I wasn't about to risk my career or something I cared little about. So I merely put my head down and ate my beet soup. But that is all I know, and you did not hear it from me. Master Formant, and I thought this day could not get any worse. Oh no, I'm just suggesting that meeting you in any way may have been unfortunate. It's just that it may not be in our best interest to be seen together as of yet. There are certain people in the sea who do not approve of my studies. Coupled with the fact that you are an outsider and an unbeliever, and well, people may come to the wrong conclusions. We must act with caution until we can prove that our intentions are just and for the good of all Ishgard. So I must ask you to travel to the observatorium alone and meet us there. It's gonna take forever to get this one done. Ah, clearly. Allow me to apologize again for not accompanying you here. As for business with the chief astrologer, you may leave the talking to me. Ah, Jacques-Inard. I might have known it would be you. Who else would be so indecent as to drag an outsider into this holy place of observation? You always have had an unhealthy obsession with the foreign. That's why you are as worthless as the Athenian now as you were when you returned from the heathen city a decade and a half since. But the stars, they can serve us in other ways than merely revealing when the horde will attack. Their powers can be tapped, and either of them can be used for... The Aesir should be left be. Has history taught you not about the folly of the Nemeans, the Andapori, the Maki? Mine uncle, the Shalans have been wielding Astramites for ages without disrupting ethereal balance. This power, combined with Asgardian astrology, could be what is needed to turn the tide of this 1,000-year conflict. Moreover, I have reason to believe that our masters at the Vault agree, and they have given me their blessing to continue my research. I did not communicate barred with you, Uncle. Let us save that for another time. I am here because it come to my attention that you may have information as to the whereabouts of Professor Mace and his party from Chilean. For someone who says he's not here to trade barbs, you're being quite generous in your dealing with them today. If it means you will leave and allow me to return to my work, then I'll be more than happy to let you know what information found its way to my desk just yesterday morning. Serpent Reaver sightings and foul weather prevented the professor's ship from entering the Strait of Merlthor, where they would have made their way up the Maiden into Porthos. After a detour around the south of Vilbrand, they finally disembarked at Vesper Bay, where they took the land route along the Royal Alliance Sunway to the Black Shroud. It is there, it seemed, they lost their way. A lost astrologer. Ah. It is as my morning reading predicted. Dalamed was judgment in the house of Spire while descending upon over the ecliptic. Clearly, you must journey to the Black Shroud. This is Professor Mace. Allow me to introduce you to Kimpere. He is my personal manservant and shall accompany you. Alright. He is not one for conversation, but his sword arm is amongst the best in all the pillars. He shall see you safe if any danger should befall you. Something tells you danger lurks on the horizon. He talks lots. It is a pleasure to serve you, my lady. I shall make haste to Cornwall and meet you there. Lady, I have questioned the residents of this hamlet and learned that a party of queerly dressed outsiders passed through not but a bell ago. It should not prove overly difficult to find them now, but before we begin, might I ask you a moment of your time? I would not dare utter aught ill of my master, but his recent fixation with finding a protege, I believe it is ill considered. This passion, however pure, has left them with more than one enemy within the astrological community. Lord Feldmar has seen to this. I fear not only for how his name might be sullied, but for his life. I beg of you, pray, do not drag him any further down into this quagmire. Let him quietly dabble in his dreams, but let it remain that, a dream. No good would come with encouraging him. It'll only hurt the Viscount and his family. You must remember that while I serve Master Jacques-Inard, it is his uncle, the Count, who employs me. Now, as for the task at hand, I suggest we find the wayward travelers and hurry back to our respective hearths. I shall lead. Might I ask you to take the rear and see that none might take us unawares? Ooh, attention. Odin's up somewhere. I'm not doing Odin tonight. Yeah. Young astrologian. Grandfather. These are Selene's we seek. It appears they found themselves some trouble. Unhand my grandfather. Ah, feisty. We'll fetch a fine price for that one. For the pleasure barge captains. Soul has spoken. Grab the old man. These wizard types carry on them all manner to be gemmed baubles and golden trinkets. Up, or I'll toss you to the snakes. You want to see this old man again? You leave us the girl. Try anything, and she's dead. Wait. Grandfather's soul crystal. Why would he leave it here? Surrendering any power he might have had to free himself from those bandits? Unless you're the one he saw in his reading before he left the old world. That was more than a moon ago. My grandfather scribed from the cards that he would serve as a bridge for countless souls to be passed to another. Might you be that other? These men of the forest are careless. Tracking them will be no difficult feat. I shall follow and strike before they have time to regroup in numbers. The stars have spoken and laid their path not before you, but before the adventurer here. You must take the soul of the astrologer and place it near your heart. Listen to the tale of those who walk before you, and know their journeys as you do your own. As for the tools you require and the knowledge needed to wield them, I, Leviva, shall see to those matters. I saw that there was no fear in my grandfather's eyes when the bandits took him. That is because he has seen you come to his rescue. Our lives are written in the stars long before we trod upon this land. It is not by chance you stand here today with the soul of the astrologer in your hand. It is fate. There we go. Alright, folks. As I said, this will be the end for me today. I need to get some sleep. For those that, I'm gonna get right here. Alright, so for those that joined, thank you for joining. Hope you're having yourself a fantastic evening. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me last weekend as well. For taking part of the clearing of Realm Reborn. And look forward to continuing with Heavensward. But before I start rambling on nonsense, I'm gonna sign off here. Gonna get some sleep. You all have yourselves a very good evening. Take care.